How was everybody doing? L.A. Kendrick with another tale from the vault of Would You Dare? You guys know how we do it. Here we talk about everything extraterrestrial, extra-dimensional, supernatural, and early as it gets. Here we are, like I said again, this is episode 191, I believe. And I want to talk about a few things because I tried to get this thing out a couple of days ago. And imagine a GoPro micro SD card not working and not being able to upload because I already had this uploaded and ready to go, but I got to do another one. But what's going on in Ohio with that Bigfoot flat thing that's going on? Always something weird, always something wild going on out there. And in case you guys didn't know, yeah, that's a real thing happening right now. So there's that. But what I want to talk about is two pieces of information that have really, really got me worried, got me concerned, because this stuff is really, really insane out here. Again, you take this with a grain of salt or however you process it. Remember, you can imagine what you used to imagine. So reimagine it now. Have any things you want to share? Hit me up. Direct message me. Hit me up. I'll respond back. You know how we do. So, but what I've uncovered, and what I want to talk about is John Lear. Father and brother. Father was part of the Lear Jets, and John was a pilot, I do believe. And he had some pretty interesting things to say a while back with George Knapp. George I like George. George does some really, really good work. He's an investigative journalist, and he's been all over uncovering UFO and suspicious activity. All right. So the party don't start till you walk in. And now that you're here, let's begin. All right, just in case YouTube, I don't want no problems with you. Here we go. No problems with YouTube, hopefully. And let's get right to it. This your dude here. And boy, it's really wild. Check him out.
Hello and welcome to On the Record. Those of you who joined us last week were probably amazed, as I was, by some of the latest research in the field of UFOs. There is so much to talk about, however, we were unable to fit it all into one program, so my guest again this week is UFO researcher, former state Senate candidate, and award-winning pilot John Lear. Mr. Lear, nice to have you here again.
Always a pleasure to be here, George.
To begin with, we have this concept of the people from other planets as little green men. Are they green from what you know? Are they all the same, or we got different kinds of them?
George, there's at least 70 different species, and probably more. But yes, as odd as it sounds, there are little green men. That's not the ones we usually see, though. We see the little gray ones. They're about 4.5 feet tall. And we see the ones that are called the Nordics. They're about 7 feet tall, look like us, but they're invariably blonde hair and blue-eyed. They're one of the species that we have on ice. One of their crashes we recovered.
Obviously, with different species, they have different motives. I mean, are there good aliens and bad aliens?
Good aliens
from what you know?
and bad aliens and all kinds of ways and reasons for.
Now listen very, very carefully. He said this a while back, and these two articles are going to tie in.
For interacting with us.
And what are some of the reasons? Why would they be here?
Genetic experiments, trying to. There's a misconception here. People think that our space brothers would bring us, good things and teach us how to get rid of all our diseases. And if you stop and think about it, that may not be the best thing, because if you had a society without any disease and everybody starts living 150 years, that creates a lot of problems. So they would not meddle in that way.
You believe, in part, that the movies E.T., Close Encounters of the Third Kind were not entirely just the creative products of some Hollywood director, that maybe there's more to that. Why don't you explain?
They were carefully guided by representatives from MJ12, who is this organization that is in charge of the cover-up, in order to get us ready for the release of the information that there are indeed aliens. And in both those movies, they used small little creatures and in order to get us ready for this release of information.
So to prepare us that the idea of benevolent aliens from outer space are going to help us out.
Unfortunately, they're not so benevolent. So they made probably one of the most disastrous mistakes when E.T. was put out. At that time was before we discovered what I call the double cross or the grand deception. And they were trying to get us used to the benevolent little creatures, but that isn't the case.
Why don't you take a couple of minutes? Now, you've done as much research on UFOs as just about anyone, I'd imagine. And if you haven't done it, you know people who have. Where did it all start, and how have we put this picture together of where they came from and why they're here?
Well, the whole thing started in July 2nd, 1947. That was the first crash.
First crash of an alien spaceship.
Of an alien spaceship. July 6th is when they recovered it and sent it to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. July 7th is when they held the press conference and told the people it was a weather balloon, which the press bought hook, line, and sinker. September of that year, President Truman established MJ12, and the purpose of that was to study the saucers and cover up the existence of UFOs.
And you say we recovered alien bodies from that incident, right?
4 from that particular crash, yes.
And what'd they do with them?
They autopsied them. Dr. Detlef Bronk was the chief surgeon, so to speak. He was the one that named them EBEs. It stands for extraterrestrial biological entities. And we captured 3 live EBEs. They were numbered in their order of capture: EBE-1, EBE-2, and EBE-3.
Where did this happen?
In different crashes. EBE-1 lived with an Air Force colonel between 1949 and 1952. The EBEs are kept in an electromagnetic facility called a YY-2. It was designed by a Dr. Eric Wang, who worked directly for Dr. Kissinger, who has been in this cover-up since the very beginning. The reason they had to create an electromagnetic facility is the fact that the EBEs are so advanced, they're at least 500 million years advanced from us, and probably more. They can move by thought.
Move by thought.
And they can also disappear. But they can't move by thought through electromagnetic facilities. So they built this facility. There was 2, one in Los Alamos, and one either at Edwards or up at the test site.
At Groom Lake, Nevada.
At Groom Lake. Now, there's still one EBE still living, EBE-3, and there is a videotape that eventually is going to be released to the public, and it's an interview with him. As hard as that may sound, as hard as that may be to believe, there is a videotape of an interview with EBE-3.
And what is this language that the interviewers are?
I haven't seen the tape, so I don't know. But on this trip I told you, I took gathering all this information.
And if you think about it, there's actually been some footage that are showing some stuff that some aliens that look really weird, look like they're puppeteered. But all of that stuff that you're talking about then it has happened since. Check it out.
A guy in Albuquerque handed me 25 secret CIA memos. And if anything can be humorous in all of this, one of these memos, in the body of the text, it said, by the way, EBE-3 wants to see the ocean. We better make the arrangements or he'll disappear again. So while he couldn't get out of this facility, he could make himself disappear and cause him a lot of trouble.
Now, can they exist among us? Is that what you're saying, or do they have to have this special environment?
They have special environment, special air. It's my understanding they can only last about 20 minutes in this air.
You were saying also these gray ones are the ones that we see most of the time, and you said that that there are a lot of different motives for them being here. The gray ones, what kind of a deal we got going with them? Is that the bunch that you suggest we've made a deal with for military technology?
Well, I think we made a deal with them, and their ultimate, what they want to do is regenerate their own race. Now, apparently, they've either had some kind of nuclear accident, or they're on the backside of a evolutionary genetic curve, and they're going downhill instead of uphill. In other words, in the autopsies, of which I have 2, we found out that their digestive system is atrophied. They can't eat through their mouth anymore. You know how they eat? Well, these cattle mutilations, they take the hormones and the enzymes from those cattle and they spread it on their skin. And their skin absorbs the nutrients and then excretes the waste back through their skin. And if you read Whitley Strieber's book or listen to him talk, he talks about when he's seen them doing this to their skin, and they're scraping the waste off.
Now, these cattle mutilations, there's been a film made about that, and perhaps in a couple of minutes we can take a look at some excerpts of that.
Yeah, Strange Harvest was a good one, but another thing that happened here on March 4th, there was a documentary released on the best UFO photos that have been taken so far, including 1 minute and 38 seconds of videotape. Now, what happened is in November, this guy took these photos, took it into the TV station. They thought it was great, but nobody would believe it. So they spent 3 months checking the validity of the, authenticating the videotape and checking out the credibility of the witness. And when they had it all down, they put out this documentary, 30 minutes. I mean, it's ironclad. They're here. But do you think it got on the network? No, it was just showed locally in Pensacola.
We have some of that, and perhaps when we come back, we can take a look at it. So stay with us for more of On the Record.
Okay, now I just wanted to show that aspect of it and that much of it, so they tie in. So John Lear, he's no longer with us, and he always spoke of these things that we're seeing happen right now, and that is the perplexing thing. They're saying they're not our friends, but then you have people saying that they are our friends. So if they're taking you without your consent, and all they say to you mentally is, hey, or through telepathic communications, where they're saying to you, hey, it doesn't hurt, or calm down, it's not so bad, or just relax. And when it starts talking to you like that, it's kind of like, okay, yeah, but you've abducted me against my will. Why would you do that? And again, they have no reason to. From the most things that I've studied, they don't even communicate with you verbally. They don't want to communicate with you. Maybe they can, maybe they can't, but they don't. They take, do, drop off, or they keep humans. From what my studies and from what I've researched is showing, if there is any validation to it. And again, I've been all over the world. I've seen some crazy stuff that I just cannot explain. And let me get to the other one, okay? Before something crazy happens to the batteries again. The batteries seem like they're about to die again. And I don't understand that because I'm pretty sure I charged them on this camera.
I don't have a whole lot of time.
This is a guy explaining what he did at Area 51. This is pretty chilling.
Former employee. I was let go on a medical discharge about a week ago, and I've kind of been running across the country. Oh man, I don't know where to start. They'll triangulate on this position really, really soon.
So you can't spend a lot of time on the phone. So give us something quick.
Okay. Okay. What we're thinking of as aliens are they're extra dimensional beings that an earlier precursor of the space program made contact with. They are not what they claim to be. They have infiltrated a lot of aspects of the military establishment, particularly the Area 51. The disasters that are coming, the military, I'm sorry, the government knows about them, and there's a lot of safe areas in this world that they could begin moving the population to now. They want the major population centers wiped out so that the few that are left will be more easily controllable. I started getting...
This is why we have backup systems. Anything can happen, and this is another perfect example of that.
Now that guy was trying to tell what was going on, and his story and Lear's kind of coincide. I'm telling you, that is so weird. But then you have this guy explaining what happened to that guy, because they never did find that guy, and it actually shut Art's radio broadcast down at the satellite level. But his backup systems kicked in. So if this thing shuts off, you guys, okay, we'll end it. We'll end it there. Let's go.
Morocco. It's called City Yaya, and they had another 30 dishes there.
Let me see.
I normally be hearing it on CFAX.
CFAX.
Hello, Mr. Bell. I'm security.
For Area 51?
Listen to this
Area
screwball.
51.
Currently?
Currently.
Aren't you risking quite a bit by talking to us?
Oh, no. No, because professional cleaners, they dig a lot of holes in the desert.
I don't think I like that term. What do you clean?
Well, I use a lot of acid. I dig a lot of holes.
And you dig a lot of holes.
Yeah.
And I bet you don't let the little things bother you, huh?
No, you can't.
Let's see. How can I dredge the truth from you? How can I know you're telling me the truth? How long have you been doing this job?
1990. I was in some Gulf War operations, things like that.
How'd you get picked for this job?
Well, rigorous training, various governmental issues that you have to know. A lot of brain work, mostly.
Got any idea why I was tossed off the air like that?
I have a good idea. We worked with some things, some different satellite operations in the Gulf War where we cut down certain transmissions. I have no idea what happened tonight. I wouldn't want to say what happened tonight, but I don't think the caller will be calling back, although I had nothing to do with that.
You're the second one to say that.
Well, something's been done, and things will continue to happen for national security. I mean, people need to know certain things on a need-to-know basis.
And otherwise they don't need to know them, huh?
Yes. Yes, sir.
I was an airborne Ranging Army for 18
Alrighty.
years. And
That's all we got. That's all I have on that situation. Those two stories, and you heard that guy talking the way that he was talking. This is absolutely insane. In my opinion, I feel bad for the guy trying to get the information out. He sounded genuinely terrified about the information he was trying to present. And he got it out. He got what he needed to get out. And I think that happened in 97. And John Lear's stuff happened right around the same time. If you guys think about it, it's been happening something has been happening ever since, especially since the disclosure stuff has been coming out. This influx of drones and UFOs and a lot of paranormal activity, UAPs, whatever you want to call it. You've been seeing a lot of that stuff lately. All in the name of national security. They say they were covering it up. Some of it I get it. Some of it I don't get it. We should be notified or let it be known that we're not alone out here or in here. When I mean in here on this earth, on this planet, there's things walking around us and walking amongst us. Whether they're one phase out of our perception ability, like a second or two out of phase, and they're here. But I've also understood that a lot of them are crashed because our different people on the planet have electromagnetic waves or beams that they shoot and cause these non-human intelligence to crash. I'm just saying, you guys, think about what's happening. Would you dare want to be caught out there in a situation such as this? Picked up, working for the situation and seeing and knowing what this guy knew and these two guys knew. Would you dare want to be one of those individuals? We're going to close it out. Like I always say, you guys, be mindful of your surroundings. If you work into the wee hours of the night, make sure you check the dark recesses of your home, check your closets, check under your car, outside of your car, inside of your car. Because you never know when you're going to be making that last phone call to let the world know what's going on, and then you end up disappearing. Never to be seen or heard from again. And this has been L.A. Kendrick with another tale from the vault of Would You Dare? Please don't forget to get my latest book, Demon Streamer. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'm trying to figure out where I would like to go this year for my paranormal trip. And we're going to close this bad boy out. You guys, you know how we do? Until next time, you guys be safe. Keep your head on the swivel. Some creepy stuff out here. And fill in the rest.